3 months after moving home from the academy, Peixins still hadn't come to propose. Father pressed me. He's your childhood sweetheart. How could he delay his journey for some orphaned girl? The imperial selection is imminent, we can't wait. I burned half a drawer of letters and asked father to arrange a match, then we won't wait. He looked doubtful. You once starved yourself and bound your hair for him. Walked 3 months to the academy to study, and now you just give up? I stirred the ashes with my hairpin. It was just a game. I saw it written in the playbooks. And since Peixins seemed to love me, I played along. Now I see father was right, he was never marriage material. A familiar voice called from outside the door. Who does Lady Lin find suitable? When I left the academy, Peixins walked me 30 li. He just couldn't bear to part. Finally, at the ferry crossing, I encountered a matchmaker peddling boat girls. I saw a girl no more than 14 or 15, half drowned after fleeing and being thrown into the water. She was truly pitiful. So I paid to buy her. The girl was named Shinshanshan. Her father had passed away, leaving her helpless and destitute. Her eldest uncle had sold her. Her face was pale and bloodless, her eyes brimming with tears as she looked at me, utterly wretched. I turned back and told Peixins to take off his cloak. Shinshanshan lowered her head and waved her hands, too afraid to accept it. Peixins frowned, reluctantly holding it and saying, "This cloak was sewn for me. How can I give it to someone else?" I snatched it from him, wrapping the cloak around Shinshanshan. Her tears fell onto my hand. She cowed out again, begging me to take her in, saying she'd serve as a slave or maid. Honorable families face hardship, but slaves and maids are bound by generations of lowly status, unable to rise. After some thought, I had Peixins bring her back to the academy. Our master's wife is kind, surely she'll find Shinshanshan a place to work and live. Moreover, with so many scholars and talented youths at the academy, perhaps she might find a place to settle in the future. As we boarded the boat, Peixins followed me aboard. The water rippled beneath us. He bent down and kissed me, then murmured a reluctant complaint. "You'll be embroidering my wedding robe once you return. My autumn examinations end in exactly 1 month. My dear Aju, I am entirely yours. Could you not give me a little more? To ease my mind?" He was that shameless. Before leaving, he snatched my handkerchief and tucked it into his sleeve. "Aju, remember to write back." His letter arrived in 3 days. The first lines were bold and neat, but the characters grew smaller and smaller toward the end. Every word, every sentence, was longing, just like his handsome appearance. Peixins was exceptionally well-bred, gentle yet bold, carrying the natural arrogance of a noble son. Galloping horses, willow shores, and red sleeves beckoning, he was the very picture of a dashing scholar, just like the heroes in the storybooks mother left behind. I loved the way he smiled at me. The second letter arrived 4 days later. This time, it contained news about Shinshanshan. He wrote that for some reason, the master's wife refused to take Shinshanshan in. He had to intervene and speak with the master himself, finally securing Shinshanshan a position in the kitchen. He said he had completed the task I entrusted to him perfectly and reminded me to thank him properly. The third letter arrived 13 days later. He wrote that Shinshanshan had fallen ill. Yet foolishly, she had forced herself to cook soup for them. She collapsed and scalded half her hand. He asked me, how could she be so foolish? I didn't reply. The fourth letter arrived 16 days later. Peixins wrote, "I just felt a momentary pity for her. Besides, you asked me to look after her, no other meaning. Azu, are you angry with me? If you dislike it, I'll simply ignore her from now on." Peixins was never a soft-hearted man, a man who'd lived in such comfort. Never truly tasted hardship or experienced life's ups and downs. Could scarcely empathize with the struggles of the lower classes. In winter, he craved spring bamboo shoots, in summer, autumn millet. If he didn't get what he wanted, he punished others. Before I was with him, he went through 2 scribes a month. Those he disliked were beaten and sold off. Who would notice someone's burned hand? Sure enough, his later letters made no mention of Shan. In his final letter, he declared his intent to devote himself to exam preparation. He wrote that lately, he dreamt of me night after night, his heart aching for me, urging me to embroider my wedding gown swiftly in anticipation of his proposal. That letter paper was different from before. When I lifted it, a faint fragrance lingered. I held the paper under the lamp, examining it. A faint trace of moisture, as if 1 or 2 droplets had seeped through and dried. It reminded me of Shan's tears that had fallen onto the back of my hand. Wedding preparations are tedious and time-consuming. Yet rumors in the neighborhood suggest the imperial selection will be announced within the next month or 2. My maid Susu returned to relay the news. She said that just the other day, 2 candidates for the imperial examinations hadn't even reached the street corner of Inspector He's residence when they were forcibly invited by the family of Minister Zhang to view paintings. Today, word spread that 2 of their daughters had been betrothed. Lord He was so furious he didn't speak to Lord Zhang for 3 days. In this servant's humble opinion, the 3rd young lady can't wait. If she enters the palace, His Majesty is nearly old enough to be her grandfather. What then? I set down the wedding gown in my hands. Age is secondary. Once you step through the palace gates, your life is as good as over. The very thought of that existence is torment. After pondering, I took the initiative to write to Peixins. I told him my wedding gown was already embroidered and that I would wait for him until the 30th of this month. On the evening of the 29th, his servant arrived, drenched in sweat, carrying a chest filled with treasures. He explained that the crown prince was delayed by urgent matters and would arrive in a couple of days. But the gifts were being delivered in advance. Every item was meticulously gathered by him. Black sea pearls and crimson forehead ornaments I'd once casually mentioned filled half the chest. I plucked a sea pearl the size of a longan and tossed it to the attendant. What exactly happened? Tell me. Owing me a favor. The boy bowed his head, unable to conceal the truth. That Shan girl has fallen ill. Though she's taken medicine, she shows no improvement and cannot leave her bed. It's simply... I lowered my eyes. I understand. The page glanced around the room filled with bridal trousseau. Then at the wedding gown draped over the wooden beam. Desperately trying to justify, the young master truly has eyes only for his wife. Honestly, it just happened so suddenly. Suddenly happened? Meaning he became a doctor overnight. Suddenly able to work miracles? Only he could cure Shan's illness? I had to go see just how capable he was. I changed into men's clothing and rode hard for over 2 days to reach the academy. But the page hadn't returned yet. The fish-shaped lock outside Peixins' room had been replaced with a Claudian mountain lock. I didn't have the key. Outside the cloud corridor, the sound of reading echoed clearly. I looked down and saw Shan, wrapped in a cloak, gathering dew from the flowers. She plucked a blossom and coughed. A young maid frowned. Why trouble yourself, Lady Shan? She replied, morning dew is the sweetest and most refreshing. Once the day passes, it vanishes. Master Pei studies so diligently, my little ailment is nothing compared to that. I called down from the cloud corridor. Shan. She looked up, her hand trembling. Flowers scattered across the ground. Shan opened the door for me. She explained, young Master Pei has a poor memory, and Shuebai is young and a boy, not very attentive. So, I have time to tidy his room for him. I stepped inside. The interior had been completely rearranged. A new daybed now stood by the window, half its surface piled with embroidery work. Sit here. She guided me, poured tea, and coughed softly. A fine jade bracelet rolled into her sleeve, and the pearl hairpin atop her head trembled. I looked at her cloak. Isn't this my garment? Shan grew flustered, fumbling to untie it. I'm sorry. Just then, the door burst open. Peixins rushed in, breathless, clutching a bundle of medicine. His eyes lit up when he saw me. "Ah, Zhu. Why are you here?" The gust of air he brought stirred Shan, triggering another cough. Peixins turned to frown at her. "You're still ill. Why did you take off your cloak?" Shan glanced at me timidly. "But Madame Azu." Peixins smiled. "My Azu is the kindest soul. She give a beggar by the roadside a piece of silver without a second thought. Asking for one of her cloaks? She wouldn't mind even if you took 10. Especially since you're wearing it." I stared at him. He was still smiling, right? "Ah, Zhu?" I smiled back at him. "This cloak was your birthday gift to me. Before you left, you secretly took it from my trunk, saying you wanted to keep a memento. Is this how you keep mementos?" "Ah, Zhu. Why are you being so petty now?" My voice turned cold as I looked at Shan. "Take it off." Peixins frowned. Pointing to the beauty couch, Shan thought you'd like this. She spent half a day haggling to buy it. Then he pointed to the screen. "This screen was embroidered stitch by stitch for you. And the agarwood beside the incense burner, this incense was personally crafted for you." "Ah, Zhu. Shan has never forgotten the life you saved. She thinks of you daily, exhausting every effort to repay you. Is this how you repay her?" I tossed the cloak into the charcoal brazier beside me and brushed my hands off. "How? Did saving her life become your debt to repay? Isn't that right? Then which of these things have I ever used?" Peixins' face turned ashen, and he sprang to his feet. "Lin Zhu, I never imagined you could be so petty. With such a narrow-minded disposition, how could you ever be the matriarch of the Pei family?" I looked at him, as if I'd ever want that. I turned and walked straight out. The moment I stepped through the doorway, Peixins was utterly enraged, shouting after me, "You're leaving like this today. Have you thought about how you'll return tomorrow?" I slammed the door shut with my foot. Inside, Shan timidly asked, "Young master, Lady Zhu seems to have misunderstood. Should I go explain?" Peixins snorted coldly. "I have nothing to hide. Why explain? Her temper needs tempering. With such willful behavior, how could she ever be a proper matriarch? But your marriage..." Peixins' tone softened. "Do you really think she's angry with me? We grew up together. And she even disguised herself as a boy to walk all the way to the academy to study for me. Everyone knows it, besides me. Who else would want her? But after 2 years at the academy, I've seen her become more and more haughty. She even acts coy about a simple touch. If I don't toughen up and put her in her place this time, I'll never regain the upper hand in front of her for the rest of my life. How could I even bring up other matters?" Shan's voice suddenly tinged with a hint of bashfulness. "Then I'll follow whatever you say. Young master. Peixins, just watch. She'll definitely come bring me breakfast tomorrow morning. Rest well tomorrow, don't come over yet." I returned to Songzhou that very night. Upon my return, I loosened my father's grip. Since childhood, with mother gone early, as the only daughter in the family, father and brother spoiled me rotten, indulging my every whim. When they heard I wanted to meet potential suitors, father took leave early that day, and brother rushed back from the martial arts field with a freshly compiled list. I scanned the names one by one, they all seemed decent enough. But they nitpicked one by one. "What's so good about him? He's a bit short. This one has yellow hair, poor liver health. And he's a bit chubby. This one won't do. Heard he was raised by a widowed mother as an only son, hard to get along with. This one has 12 brothers, his sister would surely be exhausted keeping up. Finally, they crossed them all off. Not a single one was acceptable. My brother sighed, is there truly no young man as handsome as me? With a good temperament, a simple family background, and promising prospects? Father sighed in turn, is there truly no middle-aged man as handsome as me? With a loyal heart, a simple family, and stable future prospects? I covered my eyes, enough already. Just then, a soft chuckle came from the doorway, Brother Lin. Why all the sighs and lamentations? It was none other than the newly appointed chief minister, Shao. This Shao was actually a distant relative from a humble branch of my mother's clan. 2 years prior, he journeyed to the capital for the imperial examinations with meager funds from charity. When his money ran out, he collapsed unconscious at our doorstep. After being revived, he revealed himself as a distant relative of my late mother. By family seniority, he was technically my father's elder brother. Thus, with father's assistance, he stayed briefly in our home for 3 months. When he left for the examinations, I had just followed Peixins to the White Deer Academy. Unbeknownst to me, upon my return 2 years later, he had risen to the highest ranks of the court. Father hurriedly pulled him aside, seeking his counsel. My dear brother, your timing is perfect. Do you have any suitable candidates to recommend? Even if their official rank is low, it matters little, provided their family background is unblemished and their household uncomplicated. My elder brother added, he must also have good character and some literary talent. Arju speaks with eloquence, he must not have taken a concubine beforehand. Arju dislikes rivalry for favor. Father nodded, I think his physical constitution shouldn't be poor either. Nor his appearance. Arju's beauty and virtue shouldn't be compromised. His family background shouldn't be too meager. Brother hummed in agreement, we must also inquire, preferably no hereditary ailments in the parents or clan, and no ancestors implicated in crimes. Father suddenly glanced at Shao, I reckon. If we screen based on your standards of appearance, he'd be suitable. Brother, as for character, Uncle Hu's caliber would suffice. I couldn't bear it anymore, enough. Father. Brother. Truly enough. Across from us, Shao watched me with a half-smile, probably mocking my naivety. His amber eyes, moist with emotion, turned to my father. That shouldn't be difficult. Allow me to consider and report back to the third young lady on suitable candidates. Would that be acceptable? Fine. Fine. As long as Aju approves. I certainly have no objections. My brother nodded, likewise. While they continued talking, I slipped out of the study. Little did they know, my relationship with Shao was utterly dreadful. When he fell on hard times, he claimed to be a relative of my mother's and took up residence in the back courtyard. I always climbed the wall to exit through the rear yard, and having an outsider there was terribly inconvenient. Especially on 2 occasions. When I returned after scaling the wall, I'd find him sitting beneath the weeping willow reading. Those amber eyes would just stare at you, utterly still. I was stuck, couldn't go up, couldn't go down. I wanted to kick him out, but father wouldn't listen. He said the man was a gentleman, gifted beyond measure, and shouldn't be mistreated. I didn't buy it. Twice I caught him reading the exact same book. And just because he claimed to be from Suzhou, did that make it true? I'd never heard mother mention any such relative. Sure enough, I used the little notebook mother left me to test him. Oh my! He couldn't name several famous local snacks, had never even heard of them. I immediately called father to send him away. Shao listened to all the evidence I presented. He lowered his eyes, set down his brush, rose to bow, and answered father's words. Zhao Ming couldn't answer not because he was deceiving us, but because he had never tasted them. From a young age, he faced hardship and misfortune. At 3, Both parents passed away, leaving only his grandmother to raise him. Until 12, he knew no taste beyond plain millet. Growing up alone, his grandmother died when he was 14. An elder sister from the Hua family, visiting relatives, left behind a crescent-shaped cookie. Only then did he discover the flavor of Anzhou's rui cake. Father frowned at me. Guilty. I lowered my head. Hua Xiao briefly recounted the hardships of his scholarly journey. Studying by firefly light and snow were commonplace. Only through relentless effort did he achieve modest success. Father's eyes grew moist. At the end of his story, my father glanced outside at my elder brother, grinning happily in his brocade robe while clutching a grasshopper. He strode over and kicked my brother flat on the ground. "Look at you!" I hurried away. Offending Hua Xiao meant he'd surely hold a grudge. Father valued him, and I couldn't afford to provoke him, so I avoided him. From then on, I crossed the courtyard from the other side. But after just 2 attempts, Father discovered me and confined me to my quarters. It wasn't until later, when I fell into the water and fell ill, that I awoke to find he had moved away. We never crossed paths again. Such a friendship, how could it be relied upon? Relying on others is no substitute for relying on oneself. Sushi delivered a new letter. It was from Peixins. I opened it and glanced inside. In the letter, he questioned why I had left without a word. He blamed himself for spoiling me these past 2 years. Now that I'd left, he insisted I stay home and contemplate our future. His patience was limited. If I came to my senses, I should write back to apologize to Shanshan, who was crying herself into a stupor, and the matter would be settled. He'd still come to propose as planned. I tossed the letter into the charcoal stove. Before the imperial selection, I must marry as scheduled. I quickly secured an invitation to the Earl of Ning'an's plum blossom banquet at the Jade Purity Hot Springs. The Earl's 4th daughter, Wei Yingxue, was my closest confidant. She threw herself into arranging this for me. She invited every eligible young gentleman in the capital connected to the Wei family. As she boasted of her efforts, I glanced at the sparse list and fell silent. How could there be so few? And you call this few? Do you have any idea what I went through for you? I begged my father and pleaded with my grandmother. Fought like a wolf among wolves just to scrape together this small portion. Now, nearly all the eligible bachelors are already spoken for. Look at this, on my way here today. 2 more dropped out. And they were the 2 most promising ones. So frustrating. I begged my brother to invite them. But someone leaked the news, and they were snatched up halfway. I wasn't that panicked at first. Listening to her chatter on, I looked at the list again. Only a handful of names. But the records were meticulous: family background, exam rankings, even their salaries. Each has their flaws. Yingxue gloated, "This one's a bit shorter than you. But he's quite handsome. This one's ugly, but honest, would never cause trouble. Detailed, right? All thanks to connections my brother pulled." Chief Minister Hu threw in a few good words, getting the Censorate and Ministry of Personnel to lend a hand. Hua Xiao. My eyes widened. Yingxue added, "Oh. And he seems to be coming today too. Your families have some connection, right? Want to meet him? Maybe he can introduce you to someone even better." "I'm not crazy, no meeting." A maid entered and whispered something. Yingxue gasped, "But he wants to see you. He said your father sent word, he has something to tell you privately." Pfft. Bullshit. What could we possibly have to discuss alone? Back when I secretly followed Peixins out of the city, I ran into Hua Xiao, who was on official business outside the walls. He looked displeased, and we started arguing after barely exchanging 2 words. He said I'd lost my mind, picking and choosing until I ended up with this useless pretty face. I'd regret it sooner or later. I retorted that it was my business, and he had no right to meddle as some cheap relative. He threatened to tell my father. So I lashed out, stabbing his horse's flank with my whip and bolting away. Later, I heard rumors he wasn't much of a rider and broke his leg in the fall. Feeling guilty, I waited for winter and hunted a deer and a rabbit during the Academy's winter hunt with peixins. I sent both legs back as compensation. But that very night, the legs were returned, untouched, hung right on my door. He remembered the grudge. Now that he holds high office and power, I can't afford to provoke him, better to avoid him. With that thought, I rose, excusing myself to change clothes and prepare to leave through the back door. But just as I rounded the porch, in the thin snow under the trees, I nearly collided with someone. Shao seemed to have been waiting for a while. A light dusting of snow gathered on the fur trim of his cloak. He didn't look like he was passing by, he looked like he was waiting for someone. I bowed perfunctorily with my head down, trying to slip past the wall. But unexpectedly, he called out to me first. Not satisfied with the list? If it's unsuitable, you can tell me. What kind do you like? I'll keep an eye out for the second young lady. There's no rush. The imperial decree for the selection will be issued next month. His Majesty has passed 60. Should the day come, according to our dynasty's old custom, consorts without sons must be buried alive with him. Don't scare me. I looked up. He had already stepped before me, his jet black eyes fixed on me. Strange. I'd never feared him before. Yet now my heart fluttered unexpectedly. Then I'll leave it to you, uncle. I should. What sort do you prefer? Someone like peixins, who composes poetry and paints. Either is fine. I suddenly remembered the warm soup simmering at home. If I don't return soon, it'll be too late. Then, how about this verse of mine? Fallen blossoms in wind and rain only deepen spring's sorrow. Better to cherish the one before your eyes. Uncle! I widened my eyes. He chuckled softly. Uncle? You know perfectly well I'm not your mother's distant relative. A down-and-out scholar, having gambled everything to reach the capital, found himself utterly alone, penniless, sick, and wounded. He was driven to desperate measures. With the curfew approaching, he could barely survive the night. Then he encountered a young noblewoman disguised as a man, climbing over the wall. She gave him a fragment of silver, granting him a sliver of hope for survival. He wanted to thank that generous young lady. So he followed her, overhearing her boast to her companions about how her late mother had once visited this place. Once gone there. So he lied. Seizing this one chance, he begged for shelter. My mouth fell slightly open. He was like a rat in a sewer, cautiously peering into another world. The young lady seemed to dislike him, plunging him into despair. He wondered if it was the poor smell those who had driven him away had mentioned, or his lowly status. He washed himself repeatedly in cold water, yet he clearly saw that the young lady held no prejudice against his background. Later, she grew to dislike him even more, even wanting to drive him away. He had ruined it. He had told her his embarrassing past, only to make her utterly disgusted. I froze. It wasn't. Shao suddenly smiled. I only learned later that it truly wasn't. But by the time I knew, it was already too late. His gaze grew darker. Why peixins? Why choose him? My face flushed. We were childhood sweethearts, acquainted since we were little. His gaze grew darker. If that's the case, why didn't you like him before? I remember he gave you 2 pearl hairpins and a rosewood carving, but you didn't care about any of them. How did you know? I figured it out without him telling me. I turned my head away. You were spying on me. You casually gave those things away to your maids. He took a step closer. You still haven't told me. Why did you choose peixins? Why? Probably because of that kiss. That time, I fell into the lake. The cold water soaked through my clothes, and the world around me grew still. The sounds of birdsong and splashing water faded into a haze, until a hand pulled me up, held me tightly, threw me down into the flowers, and gave me breath. The floral scent was overpowering. Dazed, as if in a dream, I found myself drawn to that fragrance, drawn to him, unable to resist. I responded softly, just as the romance novels described. Then, for the first time, I felt that trembling, melting sensation. I tried desperately to open my eyes, but passed out. When I awoke, Peixins was carrying me back, wrapped in his cloak. If I hadn't been there, you'd be dead. Why do you always insist on running off? Mother's letter mentioned the spring festival at Rokura no Yashiki. They have special spring dumplings there. She said the young lady needed the dough herself, they're sweet and tangy. Is that so? The outside is dusty and unclean. If you like them, I'll have the kitchen prepare some and send them over. Romance novels always say a life-saving favor must be repaid with one's body. Peixins and I grew up together. I thought I didn't feel for him the way those novels described. But this kiss told me otherwise. I think I love him. It's just a pity that later, when I was with Peixins, even on a painted boat filled with lanterns, I never felt that divine, ethereal sensation I once did. Though he knew me intimately, something was missing, so I grew averse to kissing. His discontent deepened. After hearing my lofty explanation of repaying a life-saving debt, Shao raised an eyebrow. Because of this? Then what if I told you, the one who saved you that day was me? You? I didn't believe a word. How could it be you? Weren't you preparing for the autumn imperial examinations back then? How could you prove it? He lowered his head and kissed me. I froze for a moment. At first, it was just a touch of lips, carrying a faint, crisp coolness, gradually turning fiery. My eyes widened. It was a sensation I once knew. He closed those bottomless eyes, drawing closer step by step until I was pressed against the wall, his hand resting on my head. The cloak enveloped us both, our breaths mingling. Before my legs could give way again, he lowered his head, resting it on my shoulder, whispering softly, "Do you believe me now?" Dazed, I followed him out of the Earl's residence. He took my hand, leading me through streets dusted with the first snowfall. Bustling crowds lined the streets, stalls selling firecrackers, lantern stands, monthly calendars, small lanterns, and cloud-patterned headdresses. Snack vendors huddled in corners, their stalls crammed together. At the farthest corner sat a young woman. Before her lay a pile of bright green rice cakes, some filled with honey, others with meat, steaming hot in their bamboo baskets. Lady Lin used to love the ones made by Lady Yu. Try one, the woman offered eagerly. Young master is here again. Shall I prepare one of each variety this year? She retrieved a familiar patterned food box. So, it wasn't my brother who sent these to the academy each year. It was you. The spring bamboo shoots. The summer fruits I loved, perfectly timed seasonal delicacies. Never too much or too little. Just for two. Never a signature. I only thought my elder brother had softened, afraid I'd be mistreated, and wondered how he'd grown so thoughtful. It was him. Beneath the low-hanging leaden clouds, his gaze upon me held a hint of caution. Ah, Zhu. From now on, wherever you wish to go, I'll take you. Is that all right? That face, mere inches away, possessed a breathtaking beauty. I stared at his exquisite lips. What words could I possibly use to refuse? On the way back, I was kissed into a daze 3 more times. I jumped off the carriage and walked home, standing by the lotus pond for half an hour in the cold wind. Only then did I finally process Shao's long-planned intentions toward me. But how could he be so skilled? And so skilled 2 years ago? Could it really be from reading books? Damn it. We both read books, why is the difference in our results so vast? Brother passed by. Your face is so red. Are you feverish? Standing in the wind like this while feverish? I'm not. Don't deny it. Look at yourself, your face is flushed. Your lips are swollen. Could it be heat stroke? Brother said not to worry. I've already found some suitable candidates. No sooner had he finished speaking. Father returned. He beamed, it's settled. Settled what? Father stroked his beard, just now at the gate. I ran into Brother Shao. He actually came personally, saying he has an excellent candidate. After hearing the conditions, they meet all our criteria. He'll come tomorrow for you to meet. Big Brother beamed, wonderful. I'll bring the person I want you to see for sister too. I swallowed hard, maybe we shouldn't see him after all. Father and Big Brother, no way. Marriage is a serious matter, we must choose someone reliable. The next day, Shao arrived. Dressed meticulously. My brother's people had all arrived. Some bearing small gifts. They sat in the water pavilion, watching Shao approach alone from a distance. Brother, why no one with him? Did Uncle Hu stand us up? Father waved his hand, Brother Hu always keeps his word. If he said someone would come, they will. Brother, who else could it be? I whispered, him. I suppose he counts. 14. After Shao visited our home 7 times, my father's anger finally subsided. My elder brother was quite pleased, transforming from young uncle to brother. His posture instantly straightened considerably. When Shao presented the betrothal documents, the topmost item was none other than an imperial edict. Father was speechless, so, when you risked your life to save His Majesty, you later refused the imperial match and instead petitioned for an edict, one granting your future wife an official title? Shao bowed his head. I grew up alone and suffered the hardships of having no one to protect me. I always thought that if I were ever gone, at least I too would still be secure. Pa. 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 My brother and I both spat in unison. Father shot my brother that look again, utterly disappointed. Just then, Shui Bai, Peixins' attendant, arrived. Su Su pulled him aside. Only after Shao entered the study did she bring him over. The moment Shui Bai saw me, tears welled in his eyes. Miss Zhu, please don't hold a grudge against the young master after you left. He put on a brave front for the first couple of days. But soon after, he began to regret it. Those words that day were spoken in the heat of the moment. He never truly meant to blame you. If not for the upcoming imperial examinations, he'd have flown here in a heartbeat. He sniffled and sobbed. Please come back with me. If I can't persuade you to return, Master has ordered me not to come back either. I glanced at him. Fine. Then don't come back. After all, last time he tried to sell Shui Bai, I stopped him. The indenture is in my possession now. Once Shui Bai confirmed I wasn't joking and realized I'd taken his indenture, he was overjoyed, practically wanting to kowtow to me 10 times. Only then did I understand. That Shan really had a way with people, gentle and considerate. Peixins suffered a lot at my hands. And at first, he loved her approach. Later, to stay, Shan played some tricks. Under the guise of drinking with Peixin, they crossed the line. Everything Peixin couldn't get from me, Shan gave him. So he promised to give her a proper status. Shui Bai wiped away tears. I meant to tell you last time, but knowing how much you care for Peixin, I feared it would only hurt you. That time, Shan was actually pregnant. Peixin made her take abortion medicine, but she bled profusely and wouldn't stop. He delayed out of fear someone might die. I felt a wave of nausea and some anger. With him acting like this? You still said he had feelings for me back then? Schweb, I hurriedly defended. Peixins said the young lady was his rightful wife. That he only had eyes for her. Later, when he slept with Shan, he insisted she wear the young lady's clothes and style her hair like hers. I recalled that time I saw Shan wrapped in my cloak, wearing my jeweled hairpin. Then I thought of that beauty bench. I couldn't bear to listen any longer. Enough. Never speak of this man again. The wedding date arrived as scheduled. Huashao's efficiency was frighteningly swift. Proper betrothal gifts typically required months, even years, of preparation. Father stroked his beard. How did I fail to notice? He'd been preparing this all along? Eldest brother, father. Did you truly believe his frequent visits were out of admiration for your literary prowess? He's the runner-up in the imperial exams. Father snorted. I'm no slouch either, I'm the father-in-law of the runner-up. I could only remind them, the auspicious hour is nearly upon us. Outside, Huashao rode in, clad entirely in red. Though partially veiled by his headscarf, his striking features made my heart skip a beat. The wedding procession, the banquet, the union of cups, the wedding night. It felt as though everything had been rehearsed countless times, even the lampwick flared twice. The red veil was lifted. Huashao looked at me and smiled. That night, I learned two things. First, the emperor had abolished the imperial selection to fill the harem. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Had you told me one day earlier? How could I have met my bride so swiftly? He gazed at the flickering candle flame. The night is long and full of dreams. From the moment you finished your studies at the academy and returned, I could not wait a single moment longer. He lowered his head to kiss me. His soft lips were just as I had imagined. This man seemed born to be the one I would love. And second, I finally understood the difference between theoretical knowledge and innate talent. A month into our marriage, few remained in the Hua household. I enjoyed returning home by day. My new sister-in-law was gentle and kind, and the cousin of my close friend Wei Yingxue. We spent many lively days together. Come evening, or if Huashao finished his duties early, he would come to fetch me. Sometimes we'd run into father, who'd immediately pull out his latest poems. See? I'm quite the scholar general, aren't I? Well, you always were, father-in-law. Then look at the poems, don't look outside. Ju hasn't finished painting that umbrella yet. It's still early. All right. Which made them giggle at me non-stop. Come on. Come on. I'm here to pick you up. Really. You rush over every single time. On the way home, Huashao recounted the day's gossip, which courtier had committed another blunder, or harbored some malicious intent. I never knew you were so talkative before. It must be contagious. Seeing you talk makes me want to talk too. As he spoke, he leaned closer. We don't have to talk. We could do something else. Then let's just talk. He chuckled softly. Oh, right, the imperial examination results are out. He tilted his head, fixing his gaze intently on my eyes. I hadn't fully processed it yet. You're not the chief examiner. Why do you even care? 1 salary. 10 responsibilities. Don't you ever get any rest? Huashao smiled, naturally. I don't care. I hummed in acknowledgement. Then suddenly realized, are you asking about Peixins' results? How did he do? 12th place in the 3rd tier. Pathetic. I shook my head. He's a full 4 places behind my 2nd place husband. I spread both hands wide. Isn't that right? My 2nd place husband? This time, my wife didn't mix them up. Such a sour tone. I snorted. If I'd known, I should have kissed him before his father sent him off to the academy. Then I wouldn't have mixed up my. The rest of the words died on my lips. Only the soft whispers of conquered territory remained. His breathing grew heavier, yet his voice stayed soft. Ah, Zhu. From now on, don't ever say things like that. Not once. Outside, the clatter of hooves echoed as someone galloped into the city, startling the roadside vendors into gasps. Early the next morning, I returned to my maternal home, eager to share the gossip with my sister-in-law. A large carriage stood at the gate, its decorations vaguely familiar. After stepping down, the gatekeeper frantically winked at me. "Does your eye hurt?" I continued walking forward. The gatekeeper swallowed hard. Suddenly, a voice rang out beside me. "How dare you say your young mistress isn't here? You dog! You insolent fool! Don't you know who I am? How dare you block my way?" I turned to see Peixins, dressed in brocade robes, standing there with an air of haughty pride. "Oh, and who might you be?" Peixins' expression softened instantly, though his words remained sharp. "Where were you running off to so early? Has your uncle given up on you now?" I rolled my eyes and started walking inside. He immediately followed. "All right. Ah, Zhu. Are you still sulking at me? Let go." He refused, flashing his familiar mischievous grin, "Unless you say you're not angry anymore." Just then, the carriage curtain fluttered open. Shan whispered softly, "Young master. You forgot the hand warmer for the young lady." Peixins frowned slightly but still had her bring it down. "I was planning to let her see you later," Shan said coyly, "Sister Zhu." She glanced at me cautiously again. "Second young miss." I looked at the hand warmer. Cotton coats in summer, crushed ice in winter, hand warmers in spring. Peixins. You just don't get gift giving. This thing. You can keep it yourself. Seeing I was about to enter, Peixins immediately followed. I paused, raising my hand to stop the gatekeeper, allowing them both to enter. Shan's eyes sparkled. "This mansion is so beautiful. This lotus pond is so vast. This pavilion looks just like in the picture books. Second young miss. You are truly blessed." Then her eyes darted around. "Is this newly hung wedding silk? And this bridal platform was just built. Second young miss. Are you preparing for marriage?" Peixins' posture instantly straightened. I happened to be carrying a stack of books. Spotting Peixins, he immediately turned and fled. Peixins' chin lifted. He claimed he had no interest in me. Yet I thought the lad had become a runaway slave, but here he is. "Kept by you?" He turned to me with a smile. He said I speak with a forked tongue. Yet he rushes to prepare. Isn't he just waiting for my name to appear on the imperial examination list to propose? I raised an eyebrow. Propose? Has young Master Pei forgotten that was last month's affair? Peixins chuckled. "I'm not avoiding it, I'm just delaying a bit. And if you agree to my condition, I can send the betrothal gifts today." "Oh. What condition?" "After we marry, let Shan stay in the mansion." "Why? Because she lost a child for you?" Peixins stared coldly at Bai's retreating figure. Such a traitorous creature needn't be kept. He paused, his tone softening considerably. "Ah, Zhu. You've always been kind-hearted, never holding servants' mistakes against them. Shan is an orphan. Her sole desire was to repay your kindness, hoping to share the burden of serving me. That's why a little mishap occurred." Shan's eyes reddened. Shan dares not overshadow the second young miss. Nor would she ever let a child be born before her. Peixins soothed her again. "Besides, childbirth is such a perilous ordeal for women. Shan said that any future children will be raised under your care, sparing you the hardship. Look at my mother, barely 40, yet already racked with pain. She insisted on doing everything herself and bore 7 children. What was the point? How did I never notice he was so thick-headed? Oh, no, not thick-headed. Then why did I bear so many? The Pei family has held official positions for generations. Procreation is a woman's duty. Shan is devoted to you, refusing even the status of a formal concubine, content to be merely a bedchamber maid. In this life, I, peixin, have one wife and one concubine, my heart belongs to none other. My mouth fell open, peixin. Have you lost your mind? Peixin, I am mad. Had I not loved you since childhood, I would never have tormented myself thus. Spring outings, summer boat rides, I schemed endlessly, yet remained merely one of your playmates. As we grew older, we grew distant. Had my father not suddenly sent me to the academy, where you realized your feelings and pursued me, I'd never have known when my madness would end. All these years, the maids in my chambers, the women who courted me, did I ever give any of them the time of day? Yet even when you were at the academy, you refused to ease my pain. Did I ever blame you? Now I merely want an orphaned girl to share my burdens, is that madness? At that moment, a cold laugh echoed from behind. You're not mad, you want to die. No sooner had the words left his mouth than brother kicked Peixin into the lake. He flailed frantically. I can't swim. When he finally sank and was dragged back up, he was kicked several more times. He came to, groaning, lying on the ground gasping for breath, utterly disheveled. Lin Zhu. Lin Miao. You too. His teeth chattering, he spat threats, after what you did to me today. I'll never propose to my beloved. Big brother delivered another kick. Peixin clutched his head and yelled, and tomorrow, I won't be able to come either. Just wait, when I can't get married. Who'll be the one disgraced? Shan, heartbroken, went to wipe the water from his face, then turned to glare at me. Second young miss. You've gone too far. Are you even human? His sister-in-law raised a cold eye, and a matron slapped her across the face with a sharp smack. What kind of creature are you? Ungrateful wretch. You have no right to lecture my sister. Peixin grabbed Shanshan's arm. Don't speak to her, unless she personally comes to apologize. I will never propose again. I chuckled softly. Peixin. Has your family fallen so low since being stripped of your title and exiled that you can't even bear the truth? You truly intend to propose? Peixin looked suspicious. What do you mean? Can't you see? My sister is already married. Shuebai plucked up the courage to back her up. Exactly. Second miss is already married. Waiting for you? You're nothing. Impossible. Peixin refused to believe it. With her reputation, even if she were somewhat attractive. Oh, I see. You must have paid silver to find some lowly family. Peixin struggled to sit up. Ah, Zhu. You're being foolish. How crucial is matching social standing? Would you really marry some commoner and waste your life? Suffer hardship for a lifetime? Shuebai raised her voice, spit. The new son-in-law is 100 times, 1,000 times better than you. I turned to look at my elder brother. I endured the disgust to bring him in. Did you not have breakfast? My elder brother stepped forward again. I should have said I ate 2 extra bowls. This time, Peixin finally fell completely silent. After both of them were thrown out the door, Shao arrived on horseback. He dismounted. Peixin's eyes reddened as he struggled to lift his head. Prime Minister. You must vindicate me. The Lin family abused their authority and humiliated a noble family. Shao glanced down at him. Very well. Bending down, he grabbed Peixin and tossed him onto the horse's back. Then let's find a place to talk properly. Peixin jolted and vomited again, splattering Shanshan's robe. Suppressing her nausea, she chimed in. They bullied us and even tried to kill us. Your Excellency, you must avenge us. Hu Shao swung himself back onto the horse. Vindicate me by marrying my wife? Now that she holds the rank of second-grade noble consort. Such disrespectful crimes truly demand proper justice. What? Peixins gasped in shock. Sir. What did you say? You said you. A whip lashed across his body. And Shan collapsed to the ground. Peixins was expelled from the imperial examination roster. He had been the only one in the Pei family capable of reading even a little. With this, the Pei family lost all influence. They became a laughingstock. Later, as they relocated back to their ancestral lands, news of Peixins was scarcely heard again. It wasn't until 3 years later, when Hu Shao and I took our child to the Lantern Festival. From afar, I spotted a boatwoman clutching a wine flask. Her eyes fixed on me. Before she could speak, a hand yanked her back. Stop making a spectacle of yourself here. What dignity do we need to survive? Do you still think your family is that empty shell it once was? We're nearly starving to death. Yet you cling to that damn dignity. Shut up. Peixins' voice thundered with rage. How dare you be so sharp-tongued and fierce? Where do you get off comparing yourself to her? I'm no match for her in any way. But you didn't cherish me. You indulged your own reckless ways. You threw away that noble young lady. You deserve it. You should rot here on this boat with me. I sing for money. You sell your face. Shut up. Shut up. They began to fight. Hu Shao raised a newly acquired rabbit lantern, handing it to the child while taking my hand with his other. Let's go. Ah, Zhu. The sea of lanterns blazed like fire. Warm and brilliant. The end.